So today I want to bring you a foreign policy analysis of the 2021 budget that you're not really going to get anywhere else. Now, I think it's important to look at some of these foreign policy line items because even though they're not as maybe large as some of the domestic spending like the childcare or the COVID support programs, and they don't really affect us on a day-to-day basis, you and I as Canadian taxpayers are still going to be on the hook for them. Now, I also want to tie in a couple of things with regards to the government policy itself, because that's really emblematic of how they view the world and view their role, and I think it's something that we should discuss and bring up. So first, I want to start with the budget. It all starts on page 293 of this huge budget. It's actually 725 pages, so about 300 pages longer than the average. But section 9.4 on page 293 says, building a safer, resilient, and equitable world. So right there, you can see some of the language the government has used. And the largest item by far on this one, aside from the additional pledges of humanitarian assistance, so $165 million to humanitarian assistance, $288 million over 3 years to the Rohingya crisis, $80 million over 2 years to the Venezuelan migrant crisis. The largest line item is $527 million for extending Canada's Middle East strategy. Now, I previously spoke about the strategy. It was really to combat ISIS and deal with some of the fallout from the Syrian civil war. There's a military component, Operation Impact, which again we spoke about previously, and a humanitarian component dealing with refugees created by both situations. But in that document, there was a line item that I sort of glazed over last time, and I think it's important to cover this time because this is really revealing. And it says here on the humanitarian assistance part of the Middle East strategy, number 3 is meeting the specific needs, priorities, and capacities of vulnerable and marginalized people. So that's, again, it's very much in line with the government. And it reads, the needs and rights of women and girls continue to be at the heart of our assistance. Our feminist international assistance policy and Global Affairs Canada's gender equality and humanitarian action policy recognizes humanitarian assistance is more effective if the specific needs, capacities, and priorities of vulnerable and marginalized groups are integrated into the humanitarian response. So that is, I guess, in line with the government's talking points. It's in line with their worldview. But if you look at the feminist international assistance policy, you click on that, there's an executive summary, and there's one sentence here that really outlines this government's view of foreign affairs. And I want to bring it up to you because I want to see what you guys think. And it says here on the second paragraph, Canada is part of a global community. This is why we invest in international assistance. Helping to eradicate poverty and vulnerability around the world enhances our own safety and prosperity. And so this is, in a nutshell, the worldview that the government holds. And this is, I guess, what colors how they're going to decide on foreign policy spending or what type of projects they're going to really get involved in. And I really just want to see, what did you guys think? Do you guys feel that international assistance is helping to eradicate poverty and vulnerability and therefore enhancing our own safety and prosperity? Or do you think this is purely a charitable exercise? Is this something that Canada is supporting another country? Are there dividends that we are going to get out of this money? We spoke previously about the types of economic support or political support, perhaps even military support that Canada is giving out. Are we going to expect to receive any type of support in return? Votes at the UN. I know we pursued a Security Council seat. Is there any type of thing that you as a Canadian would like to see in return? Or is this simply something that is charitable, something that Canada as a wealthy country should be obligated or obliged to do and support humanitarian causes around the world? So this is, I think, something that is really important to pick out because it will allow you to understand where this government is coming from. And if you understand where they're coming from, it's a lot easier to determine where they're going to go and whether or not you support this type of agenda. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. You guys had really interesting comments on the last video when we spoke about these things, a lot of differing opinions. So really curious what you guys think and would love to see your response. So for True North, I'm Sam Eskenasi. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a great day.